Hey, what's going on, everybody? Griff here. Jeff behind the camera. How's everybody doing? Jeff?
Back again, baby.
Back again. Two in a row.
Still catching them.
Yeah, we're
Still
out there.
smoke them.
We're getting them. Jeff, I think I discovered something.
You discovered something new that nobody's ever done before, right?
I discovered something that I've never done
Somebody will
before.
comment down below.
Yeah. I've discovered something that I've never done before, but I'm having a really good time with it. And I think I've discovered my next versatile bait.
Yes.
Right?
And it's a bait we've had in the shop for years.
For years.
I mean, it used to collect dust on the shelf.
It's been collecting dust for a long time because I don't think people really understand it.
Yes.
Right? And
I think it
I
came
didn't
out
understand it.
ahead of its time.
Yeah.
You're right?
But randomly, a couple months ago, I grabbed one.
Yep.
I was like, let me see what this can do. Let's see if we can get it to do something. And my first cast, I saw the way that it moved in the water. I was like,
oh boy.
This is
this is it.
This is going to be dangerous. About 400 or 500 fish later,
Yeah.
it has proven to be dangerous.
Yes.
All right. And what are we talking about?
Probably something super unique and cool.
OSP Picro 68.
Who would have seen that coming?
Right.
I've had that thing forever.
Yes.
Get him? Yep.
Nah. Another good one too. That's why the largemouth are in here. Big gizzies.
Ooh, that's even bigger.
Fatter.
You're on, dude. I could give it
Oh, wrecked. Another largemouth. So not a new bait.
Nope.
Right? It's been around for a while, but I think it's been shoved into this BFS category, which I don't think it belongs in. I think it can go in there, but it doesn't belong there.
Oh, I see.
Like, nobody puts Picro in the corner, right?
He's his own person.
Right. So the Picro is a small shad style bait, all right? It has this lip on the top of it, and then it has this fuzzy little string tail thing right here, right? I think a lot of people have been, just running it BFS style. What it does is when you cast it out there, it just gives a roll.
Yep.
All right?
Yep.
So over the last year or so, we've been learning how effective this roll,
The action.
that roll right there, super simple, can be.
Killer.
Right? So one of the major techniques right now in the world is strolling.
There's old
The
strolling.
hover stroll, the mid stroll, all that right now, it's taking over the world.
Yes.
And I remember saying, man, we need a hard bait.
A hard bait
We
version.
need a hard bait version. And we're trying to figure it out. I was chopping baits up.
Yeah.
I was cutting them up, flipping them upside down, putting hooks places, and I just couldn't get it figured out,
Yep.
because that's such a unique action, right? When you're out there strolling, let me show you. Boom.
The stroll bait.
Yeah, when you're out there strolling, I mean, you're moving your jig head and it's just doing this.
Yep.
It's not doing too much of this, it's just doing this, and that roll is just getting these fish fired up.
Yep.
Right? But here in Arizona, strolling is very difficult.
Yes.
So, and I'm just in my head like trying to figure it out. I love to do it. I get on the kayak, throw it out there and watch it on my live scope. And I'll stroll and I'll see these fish come to the bait, but
Yep.
they're just not eating it.
Yep.
So in my head I said, you know what, this is a seasonal thing. I'll wait till it's season. But the whole season had passed and I got on them really good in the fall, but I mean, I just couldn't figure out why.
Yeah.
And in my head I was still saying we just need a hard bait.
Yeah.
A hard bait will solve all the problems. And then after I took the Picro out and I saw it, I said, that looks exactly like a stroll.
That's exactly what you're looking for.
Looks like a stroll, but it's gonna have a different sound and it's gonna be less aggressive. So when you're working that, you know, the fish roller, the Sakamata shad, you're constantly doing this with your rod.
Yeah.
It's making a lot of noise, or your line's popping the water, that jig head is bouncing. It's like doink, 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 doink. This one right here, you're getting none of that.
Straight retrieve.
Yeah. I'm casting it out, watching it fall on my live scope, and I'm doing a very slow motion and just watching it. And it's giving me that action, and boom, it's getting bit.
It's getting smoked.
And when it gets bit, it gets bit.
Yeah.
Like they're boom, boom, boom every time. So I'm having a good time with this one right here. I'm going to show you guys how I set it up.
Yep.
And I'm also going to show you why I call it versatile, because I'm using it in different ways too. So there's that right there.
So is it a floating bait or a sinking bait?
Oh, we're going to get to this, Jeff.
Ooh, okay.
All right.
Let's get.
So the Picro right there, 68 millimeters,
Yep.
4.6 grams.
Holy smokes.
Yeah.
That
So
is light.
So that's just under 3/16.
Yes.
So, and then it will come in two different versions, a super slow sink and a floating.
Okay.
All right, 4.4 grams on the floating, 4.6 on the super slow sink. But the super slow sink is definitely not fast enough still with it. So either version you get, you're gonna have to add weight to it,
Okay.
depending on what you're doing with it. And this is how I set mine up. I just put a 1/2 gram board weight right there. These 1/2 grams are new to us. I just started using this one, and it's been a lifesaver for this technique right here. All right. With this, I'm getting about a ROF 0.5, so
Oh, really? Wow.
6 inches, 6 inches per second on my fall. You can add more weight, but the issue with this is that you have to put the weight here.
Have to put it
Yeah,
there.
it cannot go in the center. So if you were to add more weight, you either have to roll over to the sides or stack them on top of each other.
Okay.
Underneath it. If you do it, it will not roll.
Oh, I see.
It'll start doing this. It likes to have the weight there, so I just use that, and then I just patiently wait for it to fall at 1/2 foot per second.
Yep.
So I'm casting it out, I'm watching it fall, and I am moving super slow. The deeper the water, the slower you can move.
Okay.
Right? So you get a lot of that water pressure on top of it, it creates resistance, and the slower you can move. So, and then I'm barely creeping the reel, and it's flashing.
Flashing.
Yeah. It's flashing. It's giving the fish something to look at.
Yep.
I can hold it in that strike zone a lot longer, because once you get line tension on it, it stops sinking.
Oh, okay.
Right? So with the ball head and the ball head and the minnow bait, it's just gonna sink.
Yeah.
There's no stopping it, so you have to move it quicker through it. So I can get it there, I put some line pressure on it, and I slowly move it, and it just rolls. And the faster I move it, the more it's gonna roll, but it's gonna start coming up.
I see.
Right? So that Picro right there, that right there is with the super slow sink. With the floating, obviously you're gonna have to add a little bit more weight to get it to fall the way that you want to. And the best thing about it is you don't need a live scope to do it. Right? So I've been going out there fishing with a couple buddies that don't have live scopes on their boats, and we're catching fish.
Yeah.
We're catching a ton of them. Just
Yep.
casting out, working it in different ways. But if you're into strolling and you're into the live scope stuff, this is an amazing tool. The lead weight will actually help you see it a little bit better. It's a light plastic on there. I like to add some bait pop over like the first foot of my line so I can see the line, and then I'll be able to track the bait on there. It's a small bait, but you can see it.
Okay.
It's not as visible as like a Sakamata on a ball head, but I do that. And then another trick that I do is I use this Almight braid. It's a very rigid braid. If I'm having trouble tracking my bait, I'll actually flick my line like this when it's in the water, and it'll vibrate through the water, and I can find my line.
No way.
Yeah.
Really?
In the live scope.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah, I can find my line. Oh, there's my bait.
No way.
Yeah, works. Sick.
I did not know about that.
Yeah, it's a cool little trick that I learned, because on a kayak you're constantly
Moving,
changing
right?
positions,
Yeah.
right? So I having to refine my bait a lot, and then you'll lose it. And then one day I just saw my line right, and I was like, oh,
There it is.
and then it works.
That's sick.
Yeah, there you go. So I think I figured out a little strolling cheat code.
Yep.
Make it a little bit easier for guys that, you know, they just don't want to shake a bait all day. This one right here, it's going to save you a lot of energy, but there's going to be a time where it's just not going to get bit.
Right. Yep.
But it does get bit most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's where you'll have your other stroll techniques in there, if they want something a little bit more aggressive that they can chase and they can bite, or they just want a soft plastic.
Yeah.
All right. One other thing that is really popular here in Arizona is fishing a dipper.
Okay.
Right. So the dipper is, you know, skinny dipper.
Yep. Swim bait.
Yeah, swim bait.
Yep.
Put it on a swim bait hook, cast it out there, and burn it
it.
under the surface.
Yeah.
So we're not fishing it deep. We're not fishing it as a trailer or anything like that. And these fish, they just come and they eat it. They love it. Every
Yeah,
lake in
smoke
Arizona,
it, dude.
they eat the dipper. This one right here can replace the dipper for me
Oh,
also.
really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I take the weight off.
Mm-hmm.
I either use a floating one or a slow sinking. I just cast it out there and I just do a medium retrieve, and it's rolling. It's getting the
Yeah.
same style action.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah, same deal. And these fish are coming and they are smoking.
Huh.
Right? So that's another way to use it. You can sort of drop it vertically and just kind of shake it, and it's going to kind of roll, but it's going to give you a more up and down,
Mhm.
like the Miki style.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Right? This tail right here has a lot of movement to it, even though it
Doesn't look like it.
looks like
Right.
a piece of carpet.
Yeah.
But it's going to give you a lot of movement to it. And then every pack of this comes with an actual spare one.
Oh, wow, it does.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
So,
sick.
and directions on how to put it on in the back.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
But what's the setup?
So the setup, Destroyer P5 Flyssa.
Flyssa?
Yep. Exist 3000.
Yep.
I'm using 16.5 Almight
Okay.
with a 10-pound
Ooh.
leader.
Okay.
All right. I've done smaller.
Mm-hmm.
It works well, but you don't need the smaller line for the bait.
Oh, okay.
So I'd rather be able to catch the fish
Yes.
more. I know I use a ton of small line and I break a lot of fish off. So I'm learning that if I don't need it, I'm not going to use
There
it.
you go.
All right. So I just using the smallest one I can get away with at the time.
Yeah.
Plus I love to grab the line and pull the fish
Yes,
in.
this is true.
Like, it's kind of like flipping it,
Yeah.
but I'm not really a big fan of screaming for the net. Doing
Mhm.
this. I will if I have to.
Right.
But I love to just grab the line and pull the fish in. But that's it right there, guys.
Yeah.
I recommend you trying this. It's going to enhance the way that you fish.
Mhm.
Learning and understanding the way that roll works with fish and what type of roll works the best in what situation, what time of year, you know, water temperatures and all that stuff. So it's just a tool to add to your arsenal, but it works really well. I've been absolutely hammering all the species on it. Largemouth bass, smallmouth bass, stripers,
You name it.
white bass. Dude, I caught like 15 sunfish this week.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. And you know, going to like Lake Ples or to the Gila, you don't catch a ton of sunfish. You catch them, but you don't catch a ton. But I've been catching a ton of them. I haven't caught a crappie yet, but I just don't think I've been near them. So
It's killer.
yeah, it's a killer. It's catching all the species. It's small enough to where it's the size of the bait any time of year.
Oh, yeah.
There's some sort of bait that's this size. So, and just remember that it does come in a float and a super slow sink. Either one of them work the same, unless you're fishing it one on the surface. Obviously, as you reel it in, it's barely going to go under the surface, and it's just going to create a wake. And it's going to be a killer. So, if you have any questions, please let us know down below. I hope you enjoy this. I hope this is something that you guys will try. I've been having a ton of fun with it. And on behalf of everybody here at the Hookup, Ben, Jeff, myself, thank you so much.